away, Clayton, haven't you?
Mate, I reckon, I think it's 10, 11,000 miles, something thereabouts, 22 hours flying time. So, yeah, fantastic being here, though.
Well, you're definitely an accounting influencer, Clayton. You've been in this game a long time. For our watchers, audience that haven't come across you, tell us a little bit about you and your world.
Yeah, sort of started out last century in the 80s, started out at Price Waterhouse. Great place to sort of start in tax. I was the...
Small firm.
Yeah, small firm, small firm. But I think I was actually the dumbest person there, I'm sure. But anyway, I ended up going into a regional firm, actually, in country New South Wales. Met my wife, she lived there. And, you know, I wasn't going to stay in accounting. I'm sort of an accidental consultant that sort of has fallen into place. And technology came along in the mid-90s. And we thought, okay, let's set up a software advisory division in this accounting group and teach clients how to work out what software is appropriate for them, teach, train and educate them. So it turned into a business in the firm as a separate entity. And then from there, we built that out. I honestly thought every single accounting firm in the country would have done that within about 6 months. So I was in a bit of a hurry. And I think we're starting to get there now. You know, accountants have certainly crossed that bridge to adopting tech and implementing for clients.
And what brings you all the way over to the other side of the world?
Oh, man. Well, these events, I've had the privilege of actually being a part of and speaking at events around the world.
You're doing a lot of speaking these days, aren't you?
Yeah, look, love it. It's really just sharing ideas and thoughts, things that have worked, haven't worked, some of the challenges and opportunities that we have in our profession, working with the tech industry. So I've come here to actually speak at Accountex this afternoon. And then I'm off to another event in Italy, actually, next week. So I do feel like I'm living someone else's life, Rob, and this may all stop tomorrow. I'm totally grateful for that it's occurring.
We've
right
all
now.
got a bit of imposter syndrome, but
totally.
You mentioned off camera the talk you're doing in Brazil to 4,000 accountants with Cafu, the famous Brazilian soccer star. So that's going to be quite something.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a lid on that. My wife is very good at keeping me grounded, which we do need that.
They do that.
Definitely, mate.
What's your talk about today?
It's the topic is accounting for the infinite game. You know what
That's
I've been
intriguing.
curious about. Yeah, I've been curious for like 3 decades about why do some partnerships thrive and why do some fail to survive. And when I say partnership, I'm really talking about the accounting tech relationship and partnership. And I've seen some amazing partnerships that have existed for 30 years now and continue to do so, and others have fallen apart, creating a real challenge for the professional and the clients that they're actually serving. So effectively, there's 2 games in town, the infinite game and the finite game. Simon Sinek talked about it, James Cast talked about it in a book in the 1980s, and I've sort of extended that out. It's part of the solution or pieces in this puzzle as to why this happens. So unlocking some of those points around how can you work out who to partner with, are you on the same field, and are you playing the same game before you go deeper and further with that tech company.
It's a fabulous topic, very intriguing. I'm reminded of the quote by Martin Rutter, an American spiritual guru. He said, you've got to do it by yourself, but you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Which speaks to partnerships, doesn't it? No one exists in isolation these days.
Totally, and it's like that, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. Want to go far, go together.
Yes.
And I think this profession is such a collegiate profession. You know, the contribution that we've collectively all made to each other to go further together has been incredible. It doesn't happen everywhere. And, you know, the partnership between tech and a tech industry and an accounting profession, bookkeeping professionals, you know, it can get tested and strained at times. So how can we actually work out that we're on the same field, we've got the same shared values and long-term forever mindset around this?
It's refreshing to hear you call it a profession, because like the legal profession, the medical profession, they've earned their stripes, blood, sweat and tears. You're a qualified accountant, you get that. So many people call it an industry, which smacks a little bit of blue collar and...
Yeah, look,
but you're right, it's the fintech industry that serves the accounting profession. You put that very well.
Absolutely, and it's this coexistence. You know, we've got a client-centric professional services profession coexisting with essentially a product-based sales-focused industry. And so how do these 2 tram lines sort of run together is fascinating. It's been fascinating watching it and being a part of it. And we've got some marvellous stories and we've got some pretty ordinary ones too. So it's really about sharing those and working out how we can be better together for longer.
Now, we're streaming live here on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube, and this is going to go out on our podcast to our many listeners. Some of them won't get the chance to go to your talk today. So give us the skinny on it, the overview. What will be the key takeaways for people from that, Clayton?
Yeah, well, first of all, knowing that there are 2 games in town.
Okay, explain
And
to us the finite game.
yeah, on that piece for sure. And working out a strategy or a methodology as to how you can work out which game you're playing, how you can work out which game your clients are playing, and also how you can work out which game the vendors you partner with are actually playing. And it's also to reassure people that, you know, if you've had some unmet expectations or misaligned value fits over the years and you've had a poor experience somewhere, that's not the end of the game.
Right.
So how can you recalibrate and then talk about a future that we can actually participate in together? And it's really about building some awareness, but also confidence in actually playing out a better future for yourselves.
And is the finite game a short-term perspective, or trying to get what you can from a partnership?
Yeah, look, effectively a finite game is about, the purpose of a finite game is to actually end the game. You think of sport, you know, there's a winner.
Win.
Yeah, to win. When
Right.
you hear people talk about, I'm here to win, I'm here to dominate, I'm here to beat,
Yeah.
you know, that terminology sort of signifies the finite game mindset.
Got it.
And that's not the profession. You know, we've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're going to be around for many hundreds to come. We're going to have challenges and opportunities that come along. But the purpose of an infinite game is to continue playing the game. And it doesn't matter the number of people. In fact, more people that come in actually help us to become better and stronger to get individually and together. So it's a fascinating lens to look through. And it just brings, when I discovered it, I thought, wow, this actually puts this focus and lens on why these things happen and how can we determine which actually field we're on. Not that we don't want to rule one over the other. It's not about ending the finite game mindset or finite game players. It's just that they coexist. You don't need to be on that field if you're an infinite game player.
Love that. Now, you've come a long way. You've got your talk, but you are here and you'll be having lots of conversations. What other objectives have you set yourself for what is going to be a very busy couple of days?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And then these things are a marathon and a sprint, aren't they?
They are.
And it's
This
the
is
after party.
overwhelming.
Absolutely. I want to just chat and listen to as many people as possible. You know, just getting a sneak. I feel like I'm in a very privileged position to poke my head into these events around the world, and there's just this convergence that is happening globally. We've sort of different parts of the world have been going at different paces, I suppose, or started at different levels. Originally on this, so
The wonders of recording live. So.
that's fine. We are live here, guys. So just seeing what's happening in each region has been fascinating, and also talking to different vendors. A lot more of these app partners now are global. They start might be starting their garage or in their third bedroom, and they are now a global business. So it's wonderful seeing and catching up and reconnecting with a lot of friends.
Is there a sense you can speak into this, that the Australia, New Zealand part of the world are a little bit ahead of the game?
Yeah, well, I think that is true. I mean, full credit to the Kiwis, really, in cloud technology and cloud adoption initially. So we need to give credit there. Australia, there was some specific nuances about that market. There was existing suppliers that sort of had not treated the market that great, and so there was an opportunity. You know, the vendors came in, they built out that community 10 years ago, and you know, I thought America was going to be ahead of the curve, but they are a little bit further back.
Yeah.
But they seem to be very much accelerating. So that gap is shortening and tightening up around the world. So I don't think we can claim to be ahead. I mean, we're 18 hours ahead, or 12, or 9, or whatever it is, you know, in actual time. But what I'm seeing is this convergence, and there's different things happening in different regions of the world.
Of course.
That then can be spread around the world in just ideas and adoption, for example. So.
And finally, Clayton, what are you most looking forward to with your stay over here? Obviously, you've been here for the coronation of our King Charles. I know you're a big Commonwealth fan. But no, what's high on your agenda?
Yeah, look, it's just connecting with others, really.
The networking.
Totally.
The conversations.
You know, we've done the tourist things, which has been absolutely fantastic.
You can't do it really on Zoom or Teams as easily as you can here.
And one thing
Everyone's
I'd say
in one
is,
place.
you know, people say, well, how do you get to go to other countries and you know, experience these events? And one thing I would say is invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, just go yourself. I mean, 12 years ago,
Well,
I
you're
went
funding this, aren't you, to be
totally,
here?
yeah. So you know, I've got some support as well from software vendors as well that we partner with now. But people come and say to me, "Oh, I want to speak internationally. I want to do those events. How do you do that? How do I get someone to sponsor me to do that?"
Yeah.
I would say, go make your own investment first. Those who invest the most usually get the best returns. So go and actually invest in yourself. You'll meet people, and maybe in a few years' time, someone might ask you to say, "Hey, can you come and have a chat to us about what the experience is happening around the world?" So put it out there, pay it forward, and things come back to you tenfold, really.
Clayton Oates, you are definitely playing the long game, the infinite game. Thanks so much for your time today. That's been great.
Thanks so much, Rob. Fantastic being here, mate.